Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Thank you for those who already watched my videos. So, on my previous video, I received a comment from Alejandro Lopez. So he want me to share how to do how do we add the machine credential into our Ansible tower or AWX. So as you can see here, this is Alejandro comment. Please one video adding machine credential. So I'm going to fulfill what he requests. So this is how uh we are going this how we are going uh complete it. Okay, so I did list all the steps that you are required to follow follows. So the first step is create simple Ansible playbook and then upload playbook to GitHub, add machine credential to Ansible tower, set up Ansible tower and tower project and job template, and then the last one, of course, the we must test our we must test run our playbook. Okay, okay. So this tutorial we are going to use the Linux OS. So the machine here I have CentOS 7. Okay, CentOS 7. I run it using Vagrant locally in Windows machine. So because don't have budget to host it on cloud, so I plan so I plan to use Vagrant in local machine to run our VMs. Okay, so let's start. For the first step, we already create the simple. Okay, so for the start, we have our simple playbook here. It's very simple playbook which contains the tasks of gathering the operating system distribution info and then gathering the IP address info. Okay, so I'm not going to have a complex playbook or whatsoever because this tutorial mainly for to show how we are going to add the machine credentials. Basic the basic overview of machine credential is if the remote machine that we want to access is Linux based, that required uh SSH key pairing. Okay, so you're going to have public and private access key. Okay, so the first step we complete already, and then we are going to upload our playbook to GitHub. Okay, so I did config already my local project directory to sync with my GitHub, which is here. So this is where I'm going to upload the source code. This is the repos that I'm going to use it all the way for this tutorial and maybe next tutorial as well for all related automation project. Okay, okay. So now we are going to push all our codes into our GitHub repos. Now just submit the message. Sorry, first commit. Okay, just put whatever message you like. Doesn't matter because it's yours. It's your repos. Okay, so and then we can we check again if it's already synced. Okay, now sorry. Okay, now okay. No, there's no snatch. Uh, I think it's already synced, but somehow it's not synced. Okay, if using, okay, push the mentions no remote branch would like to publish this branch. Okay, so it's going to uh push the record to master branch instead of the main branch, because seems looks like the Visual Studio Code haven't yet setting up the main branch for GitHub is master, sorry, uh is a main branch. So instead of it's pushed to main, it's still pushing to master, which is the traditional branching name. Okay, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so we have our playbook here already. Okay, so the second step is done, upload playbook to GitHub. Okay, so now we are going to uh, add our machine credential on Ansible Tower or AWX vault. Okay, sorry. So we go to our Ansible Tower and then go to credential, add, then we okay, sorry. Before we move into this section, we have to create our key pair first. Okay, so now I'm in uh the sorry I have to go back and go to, sorry, my Ansible project directory. Okay, as you can see, it's a Ansible project directory. It has keys folder. So inside here I already have the the first key that I created before, for the preps. Okay, now I'm going to create second one. So just type, if you're this applicable to Linux environment as well. If you are on Linux machine, you can use the same command, Linux or Mac OS, Linux, Unix, or Mac OS. So you can just use the same command to generate the SSH key. Okay, so you run, then let's say put the name as second key, just hit enter, enter, enter. Then there you go, you got your second key. Okay, now what you need to do is get the second key public key. Okay, you can use the cat command, it will print out and I'll put it onto your screen. Okay, as you can see, it's a bunch of characters here. It's encryption. So what you must do now is, imagine that you are hosting your server on the cloud. As for me, like I said before, I'm using Vagrant, so my VM is in local in VirtualBox hosted. So this server is actually uh the name of this server is web dash svr dash one, which is the lab server for to host web server. Okay, so just SSH into it. If you are using Vagrant, this is the command, Vagrant SSH web server 1. So after you hit the enter, you will be in. Okay, now you must copy this public key into the OS that the remote host that you are going to access. Okay, so this web server machine is my target host. Okay, this web server one is my target host. Target host is equal to remote host. Okay, so what you must do is authorize keys. So you can use whatever editor you want. As for me, I like more I like Vim more. Okay, so just add it. As you can see here, also I have a couple of keys already. I did define it before. So this is the public key for the first key, and this is default Vagrant key that Vagrant created during the provisioning, during the initial provisioning. Okay, so you save the authorized key, right? Now you are good, supposedly. Okay, so if you want to verify again, and then you just get SSH authorized key. Okay, see, your public key is there, right? Now go back to the tower. Let's continue uh to create our credential. Okay, so credential type is machine, so give it the name as uh, web server 1 Linux access. Okay, this is just I have no idea what to put. Well, so I put just exactly the same as the server name. Okay, why I put the Linux one is because if we got the Windows server, then we can just change it to Windows server. It's purposely to ease your in case you are easy to forget what type of server uh this this credential used for. Okay, then just copy the same, then organization, leave it there, choose the machine. Okay, that. So uh okay, so this is the username, external secret management system. So just leave this key. So okay, for example, okay, this is my username. Okay, as you can see here, the same name which I had here, Vagrant. So just put this username. Let's say the username is admin, then use admin. Whatever username that, maybe the name is your name, so just put your name. Okay, then this is a private key. Okay, this is where this is where you must copy the private key. Okay, so your private key is this. Okay, as you can see, begin open SSH private key. So this is your private key that you have created before. Okay, just copy and paste it here. This one just ignore. All of this field you just ignore and then save it. Okay, so we have our credential ready. Web server Linux access. Okay, now we create a project. Say my lab server. Okay, so I put it the console the source control is git, and then I have to copy the URL first. Okay. So just be careful on when you copy the link, because if you mistakenly copy the HTTPS, you will copy the HTTPS URL instead of the SSH one. Okay. So put the branch name master, because you're not going to pull anything from main, because the main branch don't have anything inside here. Instead of me only, right? Okay, so this one you just leave it blank, then you pick up your source control credential. All right, so okay, Oh, okay. I forgot one thing. I didn't create. I just create the GitHub personal access token. So what I must do now is I need to create the credential just like my previous video to have GitHub access. My GitHub access. Okay. Choose the source control should be my name Malik. Orang. Okay. So the password. Okay. I think you can just add your password here. Okay. So you have your password. This is the way the I think this is the shortcut which is on the last video I show you how to create the access via the SCM private key, right? So for now I'm using the password. Let's see if it can detect this credential. Okay, all right, refresh again because it will not fetch real time. So say project, oh sorry, what is the project again? So it's my lab sharing. Okay, the source control, get this one. So here you see now it's appeared already. GitHub access, and then the branch master save. Right, so now we have our project, right? So add machine credential, done. Set up Ansible tower project. So we have our project set up already. Now we are going to add our job template. Okay, so give it a name, simple job. Simple job to access Linux machine. Okay, so the inventory. Okay, okay, I'm missing the inventory part. I'm going to add inventory here. Okay, because if you are running without Ansible tower, you are just need to add the host here, okay, on the file. But if you are using Ansible tower, then you have to add this remote host, which is the server that I'm going to access. Okay, oh sorry, okay, so since I use Vagrant to host this file, so this is the IP address, okay, for the web server one. I'm not sure why okay, the command if config is not working because maybe the network utils tools haven't been installed. So I'm going to put my inventory first. Server one description. Okay. Web server one. Right. So we have our web server one inventories. I'm going to add host. Uh, web. Okay. Okay. sorry, I'm going to change this to lab inventories. All right. We'll go back to our job template and check we have the lab inventories, and then give it the name simple job. Okay, you can just copy paste this one, and project my lab sharing, choose playbook. Okay, now it looks like it's not seeing the playbook yet. So what we must do is we go back to the project and then sync the project. Okay, it looks like the my project cannot be accessible. My GitHub is not accessible by this AWX tower. Could not read from remote experience. Please make sure you have the correct access or the repository exists. So we go back to the project, my lab sharing, and then edit. Go to edit and check again. What is the problem? Okay, I know what is the problem. So this URL intended for SSH access. So it's not going to work because I'm not using SSH to connect my Git to GitHub. My AWX to GitHub. But I'm using normal SSH GitHub access. Okay. So I'm going to put SSH. I'm going to put HTTPS. Now I will run again the sync. Okay, it's saying that please use a personal access token instead. Okay, now it's getting weird. Because if you the project itself could not pull the other's credential except the type of the credential is source control. So how do I pull I sync the GitHub using personal access token? Okay. Now if you go to manual, right? Okay. As you can see under my credential, I have the GitHub personal access token being set up. Okay. My token is here. But why? Okay. Now I'm going to check this out. Okay. Organization is default. So for this project, my lab sharing, okay, let's say I want to pull. Okay. As you can see, it's not display. So after doing some googling for the GitHub synchronization issues using the username and password only, so I bound into this issue in the Ansible AWX repo. So the last comment on November 1922 2020, 2020. So this guy said that he also had a similar problem. So what he did is what he did was he put the personal access token into the password field instead of using the plain password. So what I did, I changed the credential of my GitHub access. The password field, I didn't put the my normal plain text password, but instead uh I copy and paste the personal access token. Okay, so you don't need to use you cannot use your normal password here. Okay, so use your personal access token. So for that, how you are going to create the personal access token, you can follow the documentation on GitHub how you want to create the personal access token. Okay, right. So now uh if we go back to the job output, my project supposedly uh sync already. Okay, now think we good to create our project. Okay, let's continue to create our project. Simple job to access Linux machine. Okay, go to the inventory, put our lab inventories, project, my lab sharing, choose a playbook. Okay, see, my playbook is available already. So get the credential, web server Linux access. This is the credential we created before. The type is machine. Okay, so this tutorial purposely, I repeat again, is for machine credential. Okay, for the others credential, I will create another video. Okay, and then label, just leave it there. We don't have any extra variables. All of these options, we just leave it as default. So just save it. Alright, moment of truth. Now everything looks good. We have our job. Okay, let's back to the step. So setup. Okay, create simple playbook. We done. Upload playbook to GitHub. Done. Add machine credential to Ansible Tower. Done. Setup Ansible Tower project and job template. Done. I'm going to amend this step because we have the extra steps. Okay. Extra step to add the connection. Set up GitHub. Tower AWX. Okay, everything is done. Now is the last step, which is we want to test run our job. So if any issue happen, then we are going to fix it and refine it. Okay, just click launch. Okay, just wait for a while. Okay, uh, sometimes this Ansible AWX the interface is not real time, so you have to reload it to see if there are any changes. Okay, all right, so our job is failed. Okay, the error was Just include an option with an undefined variable. The error was Ansible distribution is undefined. They appear to be in, okay, as a problem. Okay, let's check our playbook. So Ansible distribution. Okay, this is because I just copy paste from the Ansible documentation. So Ansible get OS info. Okay, so go to this tutorial and maybe, okay, or you can just simply alter this with the command of Ansible get run command. Okay, you can use this module Ansible built-in command. Okay, so just change this to Ansible.built-in.command get etc red hat release. Okay, I'm going to register this. So I need to change it with his listed OS distribution. Okay. Hopefully this should look good enough. Okay. Then commit our code again. Sorry. Okay. Update main.yml. Push. Right. Go back to our Ansible tower, then run again our simple job. It's not running. Right. So for this AWX, supposedly, okay, we forgot to take the update revision on launch. Okay, all right. So if you launch this, it's supposed to update the project revision as well. Okay. We have two jobs. The job number 9 is to update to sync again the GitHub updates to the AWX tower. Second, the number 8 should be our job, our actual job. Okay, let's wait for a while. Okay guys, since we had an issue while getting the IP address, so I had to change the second task, which to get the IP address info from the Ansible, from the previous variable, which is it is not available anymore. I'm not sure about that. I need to research more. So I changed it to more simpler one, which is Ansible underscore SSH underscore host variable. So this variable will grab the IPs of the remote host. Okay, So you grab the IP for the target machine, which is the the Linux machine that we are going to have its infos. Okay, so back to the Ansible tower. So now, as you can see, the job is successfully run. It's okay. We can run it again. So I'm going to launch it again. Right now, you can see it's run. Okay, it shows success now. Okay, let's open up this monitoring logs. Okay, done. So it's able to access the Linux machine using the machine credential and gather the OS distribution. So you see the standard output line, which is CentOS Linux release 7.8, and the second task to gather the IP address info. We managed to pull the information accordingly. Okay, so to recaps all of this item we have done. So if you have any doubt and question, just put it in the comments, or you can reach me out, uh, maybe from my emails. Okay, just put your comments first, no problems. Okay, uh, I think uh, this all for this session. Next session I will share about how do we add others credential, how do we have to use it, especially on the cloud platform. Thank you everyone and have a nice day. Assalamualaikum.